Hey guys, welcome to Writing Music and Film Society. My name is Daniel King, and today I have a lovely guest with me right here. And she's going to talk about her books and how it could impact you. So, without any further ado, I'll let her introduce herself.
My name is Valatie Macon. I live in Fuquay-Varina. I've been here 25 years. I write poetry. I write for Suburban Living magazine as well. I write articles for them. I write short stories. And most of my poetry is contained in the 6 books I've written.
We are happy to have you here as a part of Writing Music Film Society. And we have a few questions. What inspired you to write these books?
Well, it started early in grade school.
Okay.
I had a teacher, Mrs. Geese, who would require us to memorize poetry. And every morning she would sit up on her stool in front of the class and we would recite our memory verse.
Wow.
She kept rhythm with her little stick.
Yeah.
And the poems were so beautiful. They just inspired me. I still to this day remember a lot of the words of the poetry that we memorized.
That is really nice. Yeah. So do you remember any of the poems?
Yes.
Could you a short one, a very short one.
I'll just tell you the first line.
Yes.
I don't remember the entirety, but
Right.
The Owl and the Pussycat, it was called. The Owl and the Pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money wrapped up in a 5-pound note.
Wow, interesting. That is cool. So, tell me, I noticed that you have a lot of books here. Yes, what inspired you to write all these books?
Well, I keep on writing poetry and it just keeps building up on my computer.
Wow.
So the best thing to do is share it with other people. And that's why I put it into books.
Okay, so do you have a website?
I do have a website.
Okay, good, that you sell your books on. And do you sell your books on Amazon as well?
Yes, I do. Any bookstore you go to online, you will find my last 2 books, Page Turner and Chasing After the Wind,
Yes.
are on any bookstore website you could find.
Okay.
The others I sell from my own website. That's Shelf Life, Sleeping Rough, The Shape of Today, and A String of Black Pearls.
Oh, very nice. Now, who is your favorite character in some of these books? And which book you think is your favorite book that you wrote? And who's your favorite character in that book?
I have every character in my book I have personally interacted with or learned about. But in Page Turner, there was a little boy named Daniel. I went to the playground with my grandson. And Daniel, he was a little guy, but he was there by himself. And he started talking to me, and he told me his name was Daniel, like the guy in the Bible, he said, that was thrown into the lion's den. And he was talking, and he was doing stunts, and he kept saying to me, watch me, watch me, watch me. And I recorded this conversation in my book, in my little notebook, and it turns out Daniel really needed to be watched. He was in a lion's den, being there in that playground by himself. So my poem turned out to be in the lion's den.
Wow.
And it's about this little boy, Daniel.
My name is Daniel, and I'm interviewing you. I probably was that little boy there, running around making mischief. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, so Daniel is your favorite character in the book. And why did you choose the name Daniel?
He chose the name Daniel. He told me his name was Daniel.
Oh.
He was an actual little boy named Daniel, like Daniel in the lion's den.
No, this is something from your past. Or...
No, this happened, and it's in the book Page Turner.
Oh.
All of my poems are about people and things I've experienced.
Also, this is a live, real story.
Yes, yeah, these are all real.
Gosh, wow.
Everything I write about is real.
Okay, so it's not fiction.
Not
so guys,
fiction.
this is real stories that you would hear from Valatie. And these are awesome books. She has 6 books here lined up. This is great. So I want to encourage you, go to her website, purchase some of these books, learn the characters in the book. So is there any other book that you really want to talk about, beside that? Because you have here Shelf Life. What's Shelf Life about?
When I go in the library, and this is shelf like, when I go in the library, I see all these books, and they're all about different characters and people who have lived through the ages
Yeah.
who want to tell their story. So the shelves to me are alive with people.
Wow.
So this is called Shelf Life.
Shelf life.
Yes.
Great. That's nice. Okay. And the shape of today.
This book on the cover is my grandson. He's looking out over the Blue Ridge Mountains on I think he's hiking with his
Yes.
dad. Anyway, this is about grabbing the day, taking advantage of the day. We used to watch clouds together and say what we thought they looked like.
Yeah, that's nice.
But then in an instant, the cloud was gone. It would blow off.
Yeah.
So it's about seizing the day, really.
That's true, and it's very important to notice the beautiful thing that God has created all
right.
around us: the stars, the moon, the clouds. Even the grass and the trees.
Exactly.
What a great creator we have!
Yes, I
Seizing
agree.
the day.
I agree.
And when sometimes we complain as people, all the bad things around us. But if we really take the time and just sit down and look around, see the beauty of nature, see the awesome things that God created for all of us to enjoy.
We must train ourselves to look at the beauty because
Yes.
there's so much badness going on.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
And and we tend to relate to the wrong things and not the good things. We think about the news.
Exactly.
All the news is about is bad news. There's hardly any good news.
That's
But the
right.
good news is that we're alive and God has put us here for a purpose, to worship and to serve Him.
That's exactly
And to
right.
be creatives, writing books to create.
Use your gifts.
Use your
that
gift.
you've been given.
To create. Yes, it's awesome. This book here is The String of Black Pearls. Tell us a little about this.
Well, one day I was driving home into Fuquay-Varina, and on the radio tower, it was completely filled with black birds, and they looked like a string of black pearls.
Pearls, yeah.
And that inspired me to write this book, or to put poems together having to do with this. So life is like a string of black pearls.
Yeah.
Life is made up of a few moments all strung together like pearls. That's Joyce Hilfer said that.
Wow.
So that's what this book is about.
A lot of the ideas that you come up with is things you have experienced, things you have seen,
Yes.
and you want to elaborate a little bit more?
I get all of my poetry, and I also write for Suburban Living magazine. I get all of my stories by just going about life,
Yes.
going about living. And the stories just seemed to come to me.
Yeah.
One day, for example, I was in Eggs Up Grill here in Fuquay-Varina
Okay, yes.
eating breakfast, and I saw a table full of older gentlemen. There might have been 8 or more of them. And they were sitting there laughing and enjoying each other, telling stories.
Yes.
And what startled me, they had no phones. Nobody was checking their phones. They were just looking, making eye contact, and talking. And I was so pleased to see this. I went up and spoke to them, and it turns out they're neighbors that do this once a month or once, every period, and they get together and enjoy each other. So I asked them if I could write a story about them, and the story is called More Than Breakfast at Eggs Up Grill, and that appears in Suburban Living.
So she also writes for Suburban Living, guys, and that's an awesome magazine here in Fuquay-Varina. You could pick it up at the Chamber of Commerce or even go to the website. We are going to post links below so you guys could just get to it and see the Suburban Living magazine. How long have you been writing for the Suburban Living magazine?
Maybe about 4 years or 5 years.
4
something like
years.
that, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's really cool. So, guys, links are going to be in the description for that Suburban magazine, and links to some of the articles that has written.
I've been writing, I believe, since 2018.
2018.
I believe that's when I
So,
started.
what inspired you to start writing?
I took a little class at the Art Center
Okay.
and ran into a gentleman. His last name was Durham, and he used to write for Suburban Living. I started writing with him,
Yeah.
collaborating with him, and then he had to move, and I just continued writing
Yes.
for them.
Awesome. So the Writing Music Film Society, this is an awesome group that allows writers to collaborate together to get books published and also to express their desire for writing and sharing the similar abilities to really promote their books and say writers and readers are leaders, you know, and this is a piece of history that could last a lifetime. All right. So, guys, books are so important. So, moving on to the next question. What is your writing routine like?
I have overextended myself in too many activities.
Yes.
So it broke my routine. When I worked, I had more of a routine, and I would get up early Saturday morning, 5 o'clock, and that was my time for writing. My brain went into gear because I knew I'd be writing, and I'd write for hours on Saturday morning. Now I write furiously between my activities. So
Wow. So it's definitely a passion.
Yes, I love to.
Yeah, that's so powerful, and that's your motivation. And poetry is pretty much what you write.
I also write short stories.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Short stories. So in the Suburban magazine, is it poetry or is it short stories?
It's stories that are happening in Fuquay, in Holly Springs, in Apex. They're not made up stories.
Right. Yes.
They're
Real.
what is happening.
Yes. It's what's happening. Reality stories.
Reality stories.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite place for writing?
My favorite place is my office, which I share with my husband.
Yes.
And what I like, I have a big whiteboard in front of me, and if I get distracted by things I have to do, I just write a reminder on that board, so it goes out of my head and onto that board, and I can continue with my thinking about my poetry or my writing.
What genre of writing you mostly enjoy?
It's hard to choose which one I like the best, but I love writing magazine articles because I love interviewing the people and learning about them. I also love the poetry, though, because I love honing down the words to the most meaning. I distill them down. I love doing that.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
It's hard to say what I like best.
Right. So do you interview people as well?
I interview them for the magazine articles, yes.
Oh, see, you kind of do what I'm doing here. So you see, we have a lot in common. We do have a lot in common. How do you handle writer's block?
I carry with me a notebook, and everything I see that piques my interest, I'll make a note about it.
Yes.
Or conversations I've had with people, I write down.
Okay.
And when I feel like I have writer's block, I will refer to that, to those notes.
Yes.
And something will pique my interest, and then I do free writing. I just write anything for about 5 minutes. And usually I can glean something out of that. That is the seed of a poem.
Right. So who are your favorite authors?
Well, I was an English major, and I have read so many books. I love so many of them, but I got to say, for poetry, Billy Collins is my favorite poet.
Billy Collins,
But there are just too many to pick a favorite as far as authors go.
Oh, okay, that's nice. And what book influenced your writing the most?
I think Billy Collins influenced me a lot, the way he writes.
Yeah.
He just looks at something in his room or in his house, and he develops a full poem from it.
Wow.
A full and interesting and engaging poem from just ordinary objects.
Yes, like you could just look at the lights or the camera and let's just
or
write
an
a whole
ashtray or anything.
anything.
And write a poem about it. So that's inspiring to me.
So-
I kind of do that also.
Very interesting. For our last question, what advice would you give to young aspiring writers?
I would say write every day if possible, at the same time every day, so it becomes a habit that if you don't do it, you feel like something is missing. Kind of like it's an addiction that you have to get in there and write. Do it a lot every day.
So you develop a habit, and habits are hard to break.
That's right.
Right?
That's
But
right.
good habits, and that's a very good habit.
Yes.
You know, and habit could become an addiction too sometimes. And it's good to be addicted to something good, and writing is something good. And definitely, you guys we need you guys in society.
Yes.
We need the writers. You know, and I always say writing is one form of media. In the beginning, there's so many information that you could have gotten from books. So now we have social media, we have videos. Next form of media. So if you love writing, write. If you love videos, that's the next form of media. If you love music, next form of media, go right ahead and do what you love. But right now, writers a lot of time leave a mark that lasts a lifetime. So continue doing what you love. And we want to thank you very much, Valerie, for being here, sharing your books, sharing all these awesome information and a little about
My
yourself.
pleasure.
We really appreciate having you here at the Writing Music Film Society. And we look forward to having you again some other time. You're talking about more books. And guys, I want to encourage you, go pick up some of her information, some of her books. Look at her articles, Suburban Living Magazine, and we're going to put links down below. Thank you for joining us here at the Writing Music and Film Society, and I'll talk to you on the next video. Bye, Valerie.
Bye.
Thank you very much for being a part of
My
the show.
pleasure.